Hello and welcome back to the VC. I'm Vampire Toy, one of your hosts.
I'm chill. Hello.
He's one of the other hosts as well.
It do be me.
It do be us. And welcome back. This is episode 7. Very
Wow.
excited about that. It's so nice. And today we have quite a bit of news to get through.
Yeah.
There was a lot, so very excited. I know I say that like every week, but this week,
No, but this one,
yeah,
real.
there's been a lot of developments in both the gaming world and in our roleplay worlds as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Recently, R.E.P.O came out with a video talking about their new updates, and we just watched the video, and we are very excited. I will say.
Huge updates. And like honestly, like huge potential for the future of that game. Because they were dealing with so much stuff. I mean, R.E.P.O, like they said in the video, saved their studio, and then they just had to like prepare for this massive success overnight. And now they're finally like back on their feet where they can actually push out updates with new content, new characters, all that shit. And I'm very excited.
Yeah. As always, dear listeners, if you would like to see anything or read anything that we're referencing, we'll include it in the description. And this video is also included. I recommend watching it. It is actually pretty fun. It was a very fun video. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was the lead developer was talking for the most part. So that's a good sign. And they were having a fun time. They were cracking jokes at themselves. It seemed like a really... It's what I would expect from a studio that would make a game like R.E.P.O. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And you can definitely see that in that video. So if you haven't watched it yet, highly recommend. But there's like a new weapon coming in. An energy bridge. Yeah. The energy bridge I thought looked really cool. That I'm excited about.
Seems like I'm wondering how far you can.
I'm wondering too, because I saw that too.
Like it just kept getting longer.
Monka. It just keeps getting longer. Oh god.
Bigger.
Oh god.
My god.
It's like that scene in Spirited Away. He just keeps getting bigger. But no, for real, I'm excited about that because there's oftentimes places where you have to kind of like put people up on a higher spot in order to get furniture, and then you kind of have to like hold it down. And then you gotta like hold it down for someone else to grab, and then they have to grab it. And
well, think about it. Now you can, go into baby mode, get picked up, they'll walk on the bridge and throw you up even higher.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. What else was there? Oh, the wings.
Yeah, I was watching that, and immediately I basically turned to you and I was like, I can imagine Kazi loving this.
Yeah.
It just really seems like a fun feature. I guess it's like you glide. You kind of like glide down.
They're called the tumble wings, I think. And it's basically like a set of little like butterfly wings.
It's so cute.
And it makes it so you don't take fall damage. You just kind of like glide down.
Yeah, it's so cute. And then also, if you crouch... You get your stamina back. That's big.
That's huge. Because stamina is such a fucking problem in that game.
Yes, I'm always out of stamina. I feel like, go on without me.
You almost have to play it like it's like, I don't know, where you have to like save your stamina for a chase.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly. You're just slow walking the whole time until you're like, oh shit.
And apparently you can upgrade the crouch rest as well. And the cereal box for it, the little upgrade box is so funny. It looks
so good.
You're just like derpy and asleep.
It's so good. If you all haven't checked it out, highly recommend giving it a watch.
It's a good watch. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was really well done, honestly.
Yeah, and like I said, they give the updates, but then they talk about like why it's kind of been a slow update like progress lately.
Yeah.
Because they've been working on so much and like dealing with like their studio growing so much overnight. And it's like a very small company that makes the game. So now that they've, like I said, got their feet on the ground, they're going to be able to put out some really cool stuff. Another new, well, not new update, but new game. Apparently, Project Red, CD Project Red, is now in the pre-production stage for Cyberpunk 2, or
Ooh.
whatever the sequel is for Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, it's definitely happening. Um,
Gosh, I
I
really
have
hope
a
it's better than the first one's launch, because that
Okay, I was gonna
was.
say the first one was good after like they did all the updates, and I ain't gonna lie, I I fucking bought Cyberpunk when it was scuffed as fuck on the unplayable PlayStation like version. And I'm
Oh.
letting you know that it was on PS4
Mm.
and it was so unplayable they had to take it off the PlayStation Store and I had already bought it, so it was already like on my system.
Yeah, I
So it
remember
was
that. It was like
so
a
unplayable.
huge fiasco. It was.
Yeah, that they had to take it off the store, but I was like, I'm playing this scuffed ass game, and
I,
I ain't gonna lie, it was fun.
yeah, but I just want people who are listening to understand, if you weren't there or you weren't paying attention to that stuff when that was all happening, that was a big deal, because Cyberpunk basically said, "Hey, we're coming out this date," and they were basically pressured to come out that day, even though it was not ready to go out that day. But because they were, I believe, like owned by some sort of AAA company, they were really pushed to push it out that day. And what ended up unfolding was people were getting this product that was unplayable, like you said, broken, like you could not play it.
I had
And
fun.
but it was a fiasco. And so yeah, like you said, they had to pull the game off the shelves. No one could buy it until they fixed it. And then they basically released a version that was playable, and then they released
So
more updates after that, from my understanding. But it set
apparently it
the
was
precedence. Sorry, real quick. It set the precedence for games going forward, because from that point, they got so much flack for that that other companies took note, and we start from that point on, we started seeing more companies pushing their games back despite saying, hey, this game is coming out December, blah, 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 or whatever. A lot more companies saw what happened with Cyberpunk, and so they took note and they decided, you know what? If it's not ready by then, that's okay. We can push it back.
well, I mean the same thing happened with No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that whole thing, but they were like presenting it as this like unlimited ultimate multiplayer experience, you know? And then it was like, all right, so we're gonna ship it with no multiplayer. And they basically like promised all this stuff, and when it was shipped, it literally had like 10% of the features it was like planned to have. And so people were pissed. People were up in arms about that shit. And I can lie, I bought No Man's Sky like pretty early on because I was like, oh, I'm so excited about this game. I think it was like some like Black Friday sale.
Mhm.
I was just like, yeah, fuck it. I'll get that shit. $10 off, I'll take it. So I remember playing it really early and being like, this kind of sucks.
That's
I mean,
sad.
it was fun, but it was like, it was definitely not what was like promised, you
Yeah.
know, or like presented as like, this is the ultimate fucking space adventure. But since then, just like Cyberpunk has done, they've released these free updates that have completely changed the game. And No Man's Sky is actually a pretty fun game now. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's basically exactly what they presented originally and like promised originally, plus some, you know, because they just keep releasing these crazy huge updates. And so they've made up for it over time, but it was one of those examples of a rushed launch, and no matter how much they've added, there's always that like kind of like black mark of like people who immediately had that first impression of like,
Yes.
this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
A first impression is everything.
yeah. And it was a huge like deal. Like people were doing full articles about like they promised the world and they gave us nothing.
Yeah.
But now like I said, it's they've done a lot to it. But yeah, with Cyberpunk, I mean they did release the I think it was like 2.0 update or something like that.
And it was much
And
better from what I heard.
it was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I really enjoyed it.
So
Um
I'm just
but
hoping
yeah,
that this release, that they've learned from their first time around, you know?
Yeah, well, and apparently, primarily, it was pressure from investors, the media,
Ah,
and
there you go.
fans.
There you go.
So, yeah, it was
I
just
knew it
like
was
the
they were
people,
being
the money
pressured.
people.
Yes.
Yeah,
I knew it was someone was giving them the pressure. You
yeah.
can't pressure the art, people. You can't pressure the art. Art can't be forced. You cannot force art. It has to come naturally.
Let them come naturally.
Let them come naturally. Let them come naturally. Yeah, no. And speaking of which, that's actually a good segue into the Doom Dark Ages thing that's
Yeah.
going on right now.
Well, I just think it's just really funny. Not even funny, but just like it's an example of how well Game Pass does for a game, you know? Because the reason it had apparently Doom had 3 million players, but only sold, was it 1.2 million?
Yeah, apparently 2.2 million players of the 3 million were through Xbox Game Pass, which is
So yeah,
crazy.
so not even a million. Yeah, so 2.2 million people from the 3 million players that we talked about it. I think it was last week
Yeah.
with Stutter, how there were 3 million players, but apparently 800,000 of them are actual like copies sold, and then 2.2 million are from the Game Pass. So at least they have people playing the game, but it's just kind of funny how they were pushing 3 million players. Congratulations, which is huge. And like I said, it's an example of how much the Game Pass does to push out a game.
Yeah.
Like it gets your game in a lot of people's hands, and then it gets like, I mean, so many people stream now. So it's like it gets eyes on your game. It gets people talking about it, you know?
No, I agree. And it looks just, I'm looking at the graph that's on this article,
Yeah.
and it's like PlayStation is 0.2 million, and then Steam is 0.4 million, and then you've got Game Pass that's 2.2 million. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, that's Xbox, right? Like, that's Xbox Game Pass. That's a big chunk. And
Yeah.
then on Xbox alone, outside the Game Pass, so people who actually bought like copies because they were like, oh yeah, I love Doom. I'm gonna buy it, you know, I'm not gonna just get it on the Game Pass. I'm gonna buy the copy. That was 0.2 million.
Yeah.
So for all of Xbox, it was 2.4 million, which is a massive pull. You see that as a developer, if you're just looking at numbers of players, you looking at Game Pass like that's where it's at. If you want to get it to a lot of people, that's powerful.
Yeah, that's powerful. I wonder about it though, like
I,
because I
you
think
know how I
they get
feel
a
about
percentage
it.
of the yeah they I think they get a decent amount from Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like I'm just wondering about like the profits of like if these studios get enough to like sustain. You know, I know it's Bethesda, so it's like I don't know, but that is huge. That's super powerful.
Yeah. And I think what the issue was and what a lot of these AAA companies are starting to realize is people are not willing to pay $70 for a game. Why would they pay $70 for one game when they
Well,
can
they could pay
pay for Game
$10.
Pass
Yeah.
10 bucks a month, right now?
I believe so. Here, I can double check. But yeah, like 10, 15 bucks, some shit
Yeah,
like that. Like, why would
a
you not
month.
pay that?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Unless you're a huge fan of the Doom series, because there are people and they're gonna just pay no matter what price it is. There's going to always
Yeah.
be people who do that for any franchise or company or whatever. There's gonna be those fans that are just like, I don't care how much it is, give it to me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's gonna happen. But for the average gamer like myself, I've never played any of the Doom games. I know, shock. Big shocks. I know. But
Gasp.
I'm just I look at it, I'm like, I don't think I would pay $70 for a game I've never even played before.
I fully agree. Apparently, it's 11.99
Oh wow.
for 1 month.
That's
Yeah.
not bad. And like I said, you get so many titles as well. Like you won't play them all, obviously, but
But for
it's still
11.99,
nice. You have quite
yeah.
the variety, the options,
It
and
reminds me of renting games
yeah,
back in the day.
yeah, exactly.
11.99 for a month of just unlimited games. That's pretty good.
You know,
Not
so
sponsored.
but yeah, I can see why this is now becoming a conversation and also something to chew on as a game developer. If you're a game developer out there, this is something to pay attention to. This is kind of a big deal. These are numbers at play at a large scale for a triple A title, and it's showing you where like the mindset is for gamers right now.
Well, I know a lot of gamers are focused on the Switch 2 getting released. And I
Yeah.
think that
How is
happens.
that going? Because I've been hearing some mixed things about it. I've heard some people have been trying to cancel their orders. There've been some returns, but
So it's definitely like it's hard to get a pre-order because there are like just a lot of scalpers and bots that'll just buy them all out.
right.
But apparently they have sent a couple out, or at least people have gotten their hands on them. But they're locked because there is a day one update patch that will go out to make them like activate basically.
Oh, so they're waiting to activate them until everyone basically gets theirs?
Yeah, June 5th.
Okay. So in right now it's June 3rd when we're recording this, dear listener.
Yeah.
So in 2 days they're going to activate this console for everybody. And they're going to push out this update.
And then everybody who owns a Switch 2 are going they're going to download the update at the same time. Bro, what if the servers die? What if it doesn't
Honestly,
work?
I'm looking at the Reddit post like that links to this,
Yeah.
and it's one of the top comment with so many upvotes is Nintendo better be 100% confident in their servers. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cuz that's crazy to me. Nintendo's been making some decisions that we've talked about on the podcast that we're kind of like, I don't know, Nintendo, like,
Yeah.
you know, we're reporting what we're seeing, but we're
How like the little
concerned, you know?
game cartridges just have a code. They don't actually have the game on them anymore. That's so
Yeah.
sad. It's oh,
We're just concerned friends. That's what it
we're
is.
just are you good?
Yeah, you
You
okay
good?
out there, Nintendo? We're just
You good,
checking on you.
Nintendo?
Because I personally love Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo.
Yeah, so did I.
And like I really like what their company stands for a lot of the times. I hear so many stories about how, you know, they avoid layoffs as much as possible and, you know, they reduce what the top executives get in their paychecks if the company doesn't do well. That's what I've heard. So, I have high hopes for Nintendo, is what I'm saying.
All I've heard about Nintendo is just don't fuck with Nintendo.
That I have also heard.
Yeah, and then they'll sue you. They will.
Yeah. Disney as well. So,
Yeah.
I used to know someone who was a streamer who used Star Wars as their emotes, and yeah, Disney does not like that, by the way. So, yeah, fun fact, if you're out there as a streamer, be careful. Make sure that your content, your emotes, whatever you use, whatever you're doing is yours. But I digress. This Nintendo Switch 2 update is going to be very interesting, and yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be very mad if the servers crash.
Yeah, that's gonna be insane.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll see.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but we'll see in 2 days, and we'll report to you, dear listener, what happens. Now, what's this about Battlefront 2?
Basically, Battlefront 2, the gang is getting back together, supposedly. They were thinking about making a new Battlefront. So I'm actually really stoked about that. It's just a small little tidbit of. I just wanted to talk about the fact that Battlefront was such a sick game,
Hmm.
and I feel like the community kind of I don't know. There's still like some people playing, but it's mostly just filled with hacking and bullshit.
Yeah, it hasn't been
And
taken care of in a while.
no, it has not. So I don't know. EA has not had the best history of just not the best history. So yeah,
Yeah,
they've
apparently they ended support for the game in 2020.
yeah.
So it hasn't had any updates since then. Very sad.
Yeah, so the hackers have kind of taken over apparently, and I'd still I almost like I was reading these articles and I was like I kind of want to download Battlefront 2 and play it, but I don't think it'd be very good. It's just something I'm kind of excited for if they do it. If they do a Battlefront 3, that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
But
It does seem like a lot of the original devs from Battlefront 2 are interested in doing a Battlefront 3. I think it's just a matter of, does EA want to do that?
yeah, and I don't know. I just kind of don't want to get my hopes up, but yeah, I got my hopes up a little bit.
Yeah. It does spark the interest, and it is a nice conversation to have because so many people did enjoy Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe they go through with it. I know that would be fun, and Star Wars is always popular.
Yeah.
People love Star Wars, understandably so.
Surprise, right? Who
Who would have
known?
known? But that pretty much concludes our gaming news, our general gaming news. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and switch gears into RP news.
Well, in RP news, the penal code is now available online, like to everyone.
That's
Like
so
you literally,
nice.
we got a link right here, baby,
That's so nice.
and you can see the San Andreas penal code, and it's just cool to be able to research that kind of stuff. And I mean, I don't really ever use it, but it's just
It's nice to have on
another
hand.
resource.
Yeah, a lot of
exactly.
servers do provide this for people to have so that they know what is happening
your
in
rights
this.
are.
Yeah, what's happening in this server. Because some servers, it's very interesting what they do and don't include. And for example, in a lot of 5M servers, prostitution is not illegal.
Onyx.
Yeah.
Prostitution is legal.
Yeah, exactly. Like in a lot of servers, there is no law against prostitution. And that's
Hey, guess what I just found out?
what? Oh, is there one on
Prostitution is not illegal.
I told you. It's because, okay, here's my theory. This is a theory. This is a original VT theory, okay? I think all the penal codes at some point are based on an original penal code for San Andreas, okay? I don't know what the original penal code is that everyone bases it on, but it's so funny to me because everyone does this, and I think it's because canonically speaking in San Andreas, it isn't illegal. That's what I've been told. Is like canonically it is legal. Prostitution is legal in the game. Is that true? I don't know. I've never played. I don't know. But that's what I was told.
I know it's in the game. I don't know if it's legal in the game.
I don't know. But it's so funny. I'm sure there are servers where it is illegal, but it's just funny to me because more often than not, it's never even added as a law, and I don't know why.
I don't know, but it's always kind of a funny bit to me because like
I do it as Sarah. I literally do it as Sarah. You know, I stand on the side of the road and I do my twerk out. What do you think that is?
Like you're just twerking out, man.
I'm just twerking out. I mean, when I've had cops come up to me and they're like, "Ma'am, are you soliciting yourself? What does that mean? Like, are you trying to sell yourself for sex?" No, I'm just doing my twerk. But there's often times where I've had people like pull up and then be like, "Hey, girl, get in the car," and then like that's when I know, like, okay, I'm about to. Is it either about to be a really funny experience or is this going to be some gang shit?
It's gonna be funny, gang, or awkward.
Yes, usually. But yeah, no, it's so nice that the penal code is available because now I know that prostitution is legal
Now you
on
know.
Unscripted. Yay! Please keep it that way if anyone is listening to this, and if you're on the higher
It's the
echelons
oldest profession.
of Unscripted, please don't take this away from me. Please, please, my theory must persist. Watch, I'm just about to we're about to cause every server to look
Like,
at their own
they're right.
laws and be like, shit. But yeah, no, it's so nice to have it available. But also, what's interesting is they've also made a suggestions section for the Discord for Unscripted. But in order to post or comment on any of these suggestions, you must be a supporter of the server. The reasoning is that, development costs money. And so because of that, they want the, as they put it in this announcement, taxation for representation kind of thing, which I think is understandable.
I think it's something.
I can
at
understand.
Least I can still react.
Yeah.
You can still react.
You can
for free.
still react, yeah. It's a very interesting concept. I don't think I've ever seen it in other servers before. Some servers just don't even offer it at all. They just say no suggestions, period. End of discussion. So it is nice that they do offer it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for anyone out there, if you've been wanting to make a suggestion and you see it and you've been wondering why can't I post in here, that would be why. You do have to be a supporter to do that going forward.
Other updates from Unscripted. New apartments for sale. Woo!
Nice.
Which
and some new
huge.
clothing. They've been slowly adding new clothing and hairstyles. So it's been really nice to see some new stuff being added, some progress. Some drift tires got added, or I guess there was drift suspension added on the drift tires.
I'm wondering about this one. Nerf weapon vehicle damage. So does that mean when you're shooting a car, it won't damage it as much?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, that's pretty huge, man. Because
I know
when when you're being shot at by the police, they will shoot at your car.
Yeah.
So that actually might be huge.
Yeah. And same, in the opposite case as well for criminals shooting police cars. I can imagine that can be very frustrating if you get shot maybe a couple times, your car is just unusable. And with how hard it is to get the car repaired on Unscripted sometimes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I can see why they would increase that. So.
Yeah.
That's
we
good.
got lucky with the mime on the bike.
We did. We did.
That's a real thing that happened.
That is a real thing that happened.
Mime on a motorcycle.
And with that in mind, they are also looking for interior developers as well.
GTA 3D interior and developer.
On Unscripted.
GTA 3D interior developers. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can apply in the Discord if you think you have what it takes. I think it would be awesome.
You got what it takes.
Yeah, you got what it takes, baby. You can do it. You can do anything. So
real quick, huge new announcement just came out actually.
Oh.
Not even 40 minutes ago. Feature tattoos, more code to enable custom tattoos.
Ooh, that's gonna be so nice.
That's huge. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm really excited about that.
Wow, that's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited because I've heard about how there are some servers where custom tattoos do exist, and I've always thought oh, that's so cool. I wish I could get on a server where it works. But even from what I heard about the custom tattoos is that they are difficult to work with, and the way that the script works currently is there's only a certain amount of slots of tattoos that you can use, and you have to use pre-existing slots. So that's why in some servers you'll get some of the original GTA tattoos, and then sometimes you get like random one-off tattoos that you don't really see in other servers. It's because they have to replace some of the original ones with like new designs. So only
Oh man,
those
that would make me
slots.
so sad
Yeah.
if I logged in and my tattoo was suddenly something else.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't that suck? And it's just like Buffy's tattoos. All
Yeah,
of
because like
them
there's
have,
lore
yeah, all of
behind
them
them.
have
Yeah.
meaning.
Yeah,
And
same with
so
Lobo.
I would, I've been in some servers where I would go and I would try to find all of Buffy's tattoos, and some of them were missing. And I was like, oh, this is weird seeing Buffy without this particular tattoo. So I think that's a barrier of development for custom tattoos, but that's just what I have been told. I don't know that personally. So the fact that they're working on it right now is pretty big, and I'm very excited for them because this is not gonna be an easy thing from my understanding. And if they can pull it off, which I'm pretty sure they will be able to, that's gonna be really game changing for the entire 5M community.
Yeah, I'm really excited because I think that there is so much potential with custom tattoos. I actually RP'd pretty early on in Purple with a guy who was talking about bringing that to the city,
Mm.
but it never really went anywhere. I think it was one of those things where we're like, meet me underground in this dark, mysterious place. And we literally talked to him for like 3 hours about like our future as business partners. And then we never heard from him again.
Aw, I think maybe they
Yeah.
realized it might have been more difficult than
Yeah. And
they
then
had
they were just like, fuck
anticipated.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's super cool. I'm very excited about that. And I'm so glad that they continue to push out new developments. It's just, they are constantly developing this server, which
Yeah,
is
no, they
crazy.
make progress every day, and they honestly update like a lot of shit every
Oh,
day. I'll see them in the report bugs, just fixing everyone's problems like as soon as they come up. It's pretty cool, man.
yeah, it's great. Which is even crazier because just the other day we were talking about this, they had announced their public server. So not only are they working on Unscripted as it is right now,
Yeah,
they're working on the public server on top of that, this Unscripted public. So they got two servers they're working on at the same time, which is nuts.
and that releases in 2 days.
Yeah.
So by the time this is out, it'll be released. But yeah, I look forward to see what the hell goes on there. I know Winky's playing cop, I think, over there, which is crazy. That's gonna be funny.
Yeah, we
I
have
think
a
he's gonna
few friends over there.
I think he's gonna bring little dumbass around as a cop.
That's gonna be so funny.
Yeah.
I would love to go on the public server just to like mess around and hang out with people that maybe weren't able to get onto the main server. And
Yeah. It'd be fun. I'm just worried about the queue.
yeah, that queue is gonna be crazy for the public server. I don't know
Yeah.
how it's how we're gonna get in.
Yeah, I'm looking it up and I don't even know if there is Prio for sale, so we'll see what happens. If there's a
Yeah.
queue, there's a queue.
I'm curious. They might add it to their store. I'm curious how they're
Yeah,
gonna
because
have the dashboard too for getting on the
people were
public.
yeah, I think it'll probably be the same dashboard. Like not the same dashboard, but like just very similar style. People were asking about like, hey, if I have Prio in unscripted, like whitelist, does that give me Prio in unscripted public? And I don't think it does. And like I said, I don't even know if they have a Prio available to buy.
Gotcha. Well,
We'll see. We'll see.
we'll keep you posted, dear listeners, when we find out more. But yeah, until then, that's pretty much all the news we have for you today.
Yeah.
That concludes this episode of the VC with me as one of your co-hosts, Vampire Toy.
And me, chill. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.